I met Coach Bartow uh, when in 2010 I was really sick and I knew something was wrong. And my doctors here, my heart doctors here, had said that my heart was out of rhythm and we couldn't, they would try to shock me back into rhythm and it would stay in rhythm for a couple of weeks and then I'd go out of rhythm and I was, they put me on drugs and I couldn't tolerate the drugs and finally I was playing golf one day with Murray Bartow, who was the basketball coach at East Tennessee State. And I told him, I said, I feel so bad. I just, but I've got an appointment with a doctor, a heart doctor in Birmingham. And he said, well, that's my dad's doctor. I told him who it was. And of course, I knew of Murray's father, Gene Bartow. I mean, he's a basketball legend, and I'm a basketball junkie. But I'd never met him, and so I go to Birmingham to meet for my doctor's appointment, and Coach Bartow shows up to introduce. He's dying of cancer. He had cancer at the time, but he showed up and to introduce me to my doctor. And he and I just clicked. And so my doctor does a cath procedure on me, and he comes into the room, and he said, what was it? He said, I'm lying on a hospital bed, and he said, you're going to die shortly, and it's not going to be a pretty death. Before they operated on me, Coach Bartow, of course, came to see me, and he leaves, and the doctor who, the surgeon who operated on me, who later would become one of my dear friends, and actually became my doctor, not just my surgeon, but became my regular doctor for quite a while. And his name was David McGiffin, and he was one of the top heart transplant people in the country. He came into the my hospital room, and I hadn't met him. And it's about 10 o'clock at night, and he's going to operate on me in the morning. And I asked him, I said, what are my chances of just not waking up here? And he said, about 20%. And I said, that's pretty high, you know. And he said, well, you wanted to know. And so he leaves, and I'm there with my ex-wife, the mother of my kids, and she'd come to take care of me. And she was crying, and so of course I was crying a little bit. And all of a sudden, I started laughing. And my wife, my ex-wife, looked at me and she said, well, why are you laughing? And I said, think about it. It's 2010. If I died, I don't have to pay any estate tax. You know? And she said, only you would say that. And I said, there's no estate tax in 2010. Just think of how much we'll fuck the IRS out of. You know? So anyway, they operated on me and gave me a mitral valve, and it clicks all the time, and I'm zipping right along. And after that, we became great friends. And actually, when he died, um, I didn't get to go to the funeral. Funeral was in Memphis, and no, I guess it was in Birmingham. But one of the things that Uh, I was never a big John Calipari fan, the Kentucky basketball coach, who had been at Memphis before he went to Kentucky. But when Coach Bartow was dying, John Calipari would fly every week from Lexington to Birmingham to see Coach. So I've become a huge John Calipari fan, even though I don't know him. But after he died, I got to be with his wife when he was inducted into the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, which was a big deal for me. But the greatest man I've ever known. He was just, anywhere you went in Memphis or Birmingham with him, it was like God had walked into the restaurant. And I've never heard anyone say a bad word about Gene Bartow.